My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Civil War. And I was really intrigued by this movie because reactions seem to be all over the place. Some people are calling it apolitical, some people say it's a left leaning stance, some people say it's a right leaning stance, some people love this movie and are calling it a masterpiece. Some people hate this movie with a passion. Some people are right down the middle on it. Just everything is all over the place. There's no consistency regarding the reviews for this movie. So I wanted to see where I would land. And unfortunately, I think this movie is absolutely terrible. Let's begin talking about the cast. And Kirsten Dunst stars in this movie, and I like her as an actress. I think she's great in the Spider-Man movies and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, but I found her performance to be utterly flat here. Just nothing about it stood out in any way, shape, or form. Then we've got Ragnar Moore, who I thought gave a very bland performance. There's just nothing memorable about him. Kaylee Spiney, I think, is very flat and boring as well. She just feels like the cliche innocent character without adding anything to it. Nick Offerman, like, he's in this movie for like 2 minutes, so there's not much to really say. Stephen McKinley Henderson, I think, gives the standard performance. His character is the best written and he adds a lot to him. And then you've got Jesse Plemons, who's only in one scene, but I think he does a good job in that one scene. But then we get to the actual story being told. And the fact that Texas and California are working together on this movie is something I love. Because this movie is a work of fiction. So you can do things like that. My issue comes from the fact is that there's no attempt at world building at all. There's no hint at what started this conflict. It's just there for the sake of it. And because of that, it just feels so empty. Like, the movie's called Civil War. It's about journalism in a civil war, and the Civil War just has no depth to it. There's no interesting world building at play. I feel like you could have done so much there. And as someone who has seen so many post apocalypse movies and so many zombie movies, I just found this plot to be cliche. Like, all the visuals here are nothing new. And I also just feel like they could have used this story to explore human conflict and our thirst for violence. Like, that could have been really great. Like, my favorite story ever, Last of Us 2, has these two groups fighting against each other. And the way that game explores that conflict is just riveting and thoughtful and brilliant and just effective, and I love it. And there's nothing even a fraction as good here. Like, there's just nothing. There's no attempt to flesh this movie out at all. It's a very, very simple movie. And it just doesn't leave any bit of an impact. The characters have no depth to them. They just feel like cliches. And even the movie's biggest goal, which is to dive into journalism, I don't think they did a good job with that. Like, there was a point near the end where I'm like, okay, you guys are just getting stupid now. But on top of that, it doesn't go into why the characters feel like they need to do this. Like, it's briefly there, but they don't go into it at all. Like, it's just a simple, flat, boring, generic movie. Like, you watch it and you can see potential. You can see that there's a better movie here, but the movie that exists is just kind of stupid and ballless. Like, I don't need this movie to take my side. It can be completely fictional. So the fact the movie's apolitical is not the issue. The issue is this movie lacks any bit of depth. It doesn't even try. It's ballless. It's just pathetic. But I will say the sound in this movie is good. It's nice and loud, and that's what you want from a movie like this. But tonally, this movie's also all over the place. I despised every single soundtrack choice. It never fits the movie, and they're just some tone-deaf attempts. Like, yeah. So, yeah, that's really all my thoughts. I thought this movie was just empty. I thought it was boring. It's just one of those movies you watch and you never think about again. So, I'll give Civil War a 1.5 out of 10. Okay, have you seen Civil War? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon, and Gavin out.